Namaste, angels. This is going to be the weekly love reading for the period of April 1st, today. Happy April Fool's Day, happy Resurrection Sunday or Easter, whatever you call it. Happy third day of Passover. I'm going to be beginning with a little message from these Angel Heart Sigil cards. They are by Stuart Pierce, illustrated by Richard Crooks, if anybody's interested in those. And the card that I'm using, it's the one that I shuffled to. I mean, I guess we could see what this one is too, what the top one is. Zadkiel and Pleasure. But I'm beginning with, I think that's straightforward enough. It's about seeking joy, right? Pleasure, joy. This Metatron card, first of all, Archangel Metatron is the patron of all light beings, all light workers. And this is a picture of Mother Teresa here. She was a nun. Who, for one thing, I mean, I've actually heard good and bad things, but I'm going to focus on the good, because I think that's what the card is focusing on too. She was very charitable and in volunteering her time and life, dedicating her life to helping the less fortunate. And the word charisma, it begins with the same suffix as charity. And that's because they're connected. The idea is that anybody with charisma or grace would also be generous. This card guides us to not only to be generous with ourselves and others, but also to value. So sort of like the earth cards, coins, pentacles, the suit of earth, to value ourselves, our time, what we have to offer, as well as, you know, those things in other people. And I'm actually not surprised that I'm starting with this, because every card here with which I'm starting, with the exception of the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle, I'm beginning with the suit of earth. So I'll just go ahead and show you that. With the Angel Tarot now, I'm beginning with the King of Earth, who's generous, professional, responsible, and practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you're offered. You have the Midas touch. The King of Earth may be a Taurus, a Capricorn, or a Virgo. And he can also be here because Mars, the masculine planet of love, is in Capricorn. Or because Venus, the planet of love, period, is in Taurus, which she rules. Speaking of Mars, the masculine planet of love, the Emperor represents Mars for me. Mars, which rules Aries and Scorpio. Organization and logic, structure and discipline and leadership. So anybody who saw the general reading saw that boss, and like boss in air quotes, and boss, like as in your employer, both came up. So this is the love reading specifically, and I'd say this is somebody's boss, or in quotes, or father. It could be representative of one's own energy and getting their lives together, you know, making some adjustments, maybe moving some people in, moving some people out, making plans, lists of things to do. And it can be representative of one's, like the fact that a person is very successful as well. And maybe because of Mars giving them a push right now, that Mars in Capricorn, maybe, because Capricorn is very restrictive. And Mars is also not only the masculine planet of love, but the planet of action. So it's like it can be stop and go when you have action and restriction sort of together. So this can be representative of that power struggle, and it would look like Mars is winning in, you know, edging Capricorn on to success. Again, Mars also rules Scorpio. Scorpio also co-ruled by Pluto. Pluto approaching retrograde also in Capricorn. So that can be another reason why this is here. And speaking of Pluto and Scorpio, opening to the King of Water, who's trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured, and quite possibly a Scorpio, could be a Pisces or a Cancer as well, or somebody likened to these traits or attributes. Open your heart and mind to those around you, trustworthy and heartfelt advice, and charity work, which is love. So I started with talking about charity and Mother Teresa. Here we are, the King of Water, opposite Mars, or the Emperor, which represents Mars, which rules his sign, if he's a Scorpio. King of Water, and the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. King of Water. So this first spread will be from the perspective of the Divine Masculine. And it's the Nine of Water. Your wish comes true, concerns fade away, you have a love of life. So this is about, yes, wishes coming true, prayers being answered. I said the only deck over here that I'm using that does not start with a card that represents air for me is the Universal Love Oracle, and that's because I'm beginning with answered prayer. So here we have that message twice over. Overall energy is the Page of Air, who's logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. May very well be a Gemini. Can also be a Libra or an Aquarius as well. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. This can also represent Mercury, ruler of Gemini and Virgo. So to get back to the Earth also, Gemini and Virgo. Mercury, which is retrograde in Aries. So to bring up the Emperor again that showed up here. Challenging information. Delays, changes to plans. These are all things that Mercury rules that may be affected by the retrograde. Communications could be thrown off. Delays are caused by the retrograde. Mercury basically rules everything that we use every day or that we do every day. Communicate, electronics, travel, transportation. So all of these things. And also, as I'm connected to the communication, can be truth coming out, truth bombs. So the feminine about herself, the masculine about the feminine, about himself and the union as a whole. Overall, what he would have the feminine do, what he's willing to do himself, what the universe would have the two do, and the outcome. I also want to add to these as far as what we would do. What we should surrender, beginning with surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Take a relaxing break and spend time in nature. Replenish yourself by feeling the beauty and ecstasy there. And opening to surrender obsessive thinking. If you're obsessing about a person or a situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help you to bring about clarity or even solve the problem. This is also the suit of earth, the card with which I began, even though it's the surrender deck. You see all these trees and flowers in here, the grass. Surrender to your fear, surrender rather, not to your fear, surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in. Compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Surrender your fear of intimacy. I had a client recently contact me after having Divine Light cleanse to say that all of a sudden she was feeling, I'll say, romantic. And she hadn't really ever felt like that in her life, the way she was feeling. Just a lot of thoughts of intimacy and desire to be intimate with someone should they arrive. And, you know, she said she hadn't felt that way before because she was molested as a child. And that had recently come up in therapy, and she'd been talking about that. And then she had the Divine Light cleanse, and it sort of turned everything around. So hopefully some of us can use stories like this and guidance like this from the cards to think about ourselves as it relates to intimacy, and how giving or not we may be in this area. And then if you need to like draw some back, because I'm still thinking along the suit of earth, like the four of earth. If you're giving too much of yourself, and that can come from fear of intimacy, that we overdo, we overcompensate, or we're not giving enough of ourselves, we're not sharing ourselves, we're not opening our heart. Surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself. Focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. So this is about like coveting, like not wanting other people's circumstances. And the grass isn't always greener anyway. So yeah, just focus on yourself and positive thoughts as they relate to your own life. Surrender comparisons with other people. I'm going to cut. I'm making a mess, but I will fix that. And the overall energy, I was just saying, focus on positive thoughts as they relate to your life. And that's how you will manifest positivity into it. The overall energy is surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Okay, the feminine, the 10 of air. I think this crowned the feminine in either the general or the love, or maybe both. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better. Somebody may be recovering from an addiction. The general. I said the general and the love. This is the love. I meant the general or the Libra full moon, but it was the general. Somebody may actually be recovering from an addiction that has been coming up for the past couple of weeks, particularly alcoholism. It could be you, it could be somebody close to you, maybe the divine masculine who is an alcoholic. That could be coming to an end though, or finally just deciding to put the bottle down or finding some sort of help or something. But in this case, this is you, feminine, and this is your higher self or our higher self reminding us that our difficulties in whatever area we're having them, however this applies to us as an individual, soon coming to an end. Some sort of codependent situation or toxic situation with which we've been dealing, coming to an end. The masculine about the feminine. Renewal with Archangel Jeremiah. Review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. Well, renewal, I mean, you can tell it's about the desire to reconcile here. But also renewal is judgment in the traditional tarot. Major Arcana card number 20, judgment. And as it relates to relationships, yes, it's about like having come to a crossroad and the need to determine like where do we go from here and how. So there's a desire from the masculine to do that. Even if there's not separation, there's a desire to plan moving forward and to renew the relationship. Maybe like with the full moon, I said aspects of ourselves and our relationships will die. This is a way to renew them, to start all over, to start anew. If there is separation, yeah, the reconciliation would also, be a part of that. Judgment represents the planet Pluto for me. Again, ruler of Scorpio. The masculine about himself. The High Priestess with Archangel Haniel. Listen to your intuition. Have patience and consider carefully what you want before acting. Similarly, I think that he got the same kind of guidance in one of the other readings too. He got the High Priestess as well, and the need to really pay close attention to his intuition and to also follow guidance that he receives, like in this form or other forms that rings true for him, resonates with him, to not ignore it and to use that as a way to make a plan, sort of like a king of earth. Make a plan on how we're going to progress from here. The High Priestess can be a Gemini for me, or a water sign. And also we have from the masculine higher self, he has chosen a 2 for us and a 2 for himself. Which of course is also, 2s are about partnership, 2 is about faith. So we had the answer prayer theme coming up twice already. 2 is about duality, and that's why one of the reasons why they connect to Gemini for me, the High Priestess does, but also 2s, 11s. So this is an 11-11 right here at the heart of the matter of major arcana. So very strong energy from the universe that the masculine has selected to represent both himself and the divine feminine. About the union as a whole, the Magician. So we can manifest, what our desired outcome is, and the creation that will be our union, how we want it to be. We can manifest that. We're going to need those positive thoughts. So that this overall energy that we have here of surrendering negative thinking will help us to manifest the type of union we want. And then look, this is very tiny little spread, only 4 cards. 3 are major arcana. Also, this can be telling us to begin to lay the groundwork and to make the plans, but possibly to hold off on solidifying aspects of partnership, contractual type of situations until after Mercury retrograde. Or it could be a warning that things will be delayed, or there may be hiccups that occur if we try to proceed before the 15th. Overall, boom! The Ace of Water, falling in love with the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth, and enhanced intuition, maybe even a new home. This Ace of Water sits here atop the 11-11. And it too is like another 11. Then we would have 6. Aces can be 1s or 11s in cards, including tarot. So it'd be like 11, 11, 11 equals 6 equals love. Also, it sits here atop renewal or judgment, which I said represented the planet Pluto, and the sign of Scorpio, and it sits here atop the High Priestess, which I said, yes, can represent Gemini, but also water signs. So very heavy water energy here, and perhaps involving specifically water signs. Or water and air, as we saw, there's healing too, water and air, as we saw in the general, because now that I look at this further, we have air, water, and air. The Magician also represents the sign of Gemini for me. Or perhaps another, sometimes I can have it come up for other mutable signs. Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. What would the universe have the 2 of us to do toward the union? 8 of Water. So like move on, whatever that means. Now we want it's clear here that the masculine and likely the feminine, she's had enough of the difficulty, would like to move. What move on would mean to move, toward one another. But with this card says, like, it's very similar to the Ace of Water for me, because it also can be about ascension and spiritual growth, which can be connected to our love and relationships too. We're reaching a higher level as individuals and, as couples. So that, like, further ascended relationships too. But the 8 of Water says that there's a desire to move on from whatever the situation was. So if it was a difficult situation, let's move on from that and move in. I'm ready to move into this positive change that the universe is telling me to expect when this card shows up. If we were at a make or break point, yes, I'm ready to move forward toward our future here. So a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful. So something with more value, maybe. Let's, again, to get back to all the king of earth, which I started, and all the other earth cards that I have here that I'm going to begin with. You know, we can see that's part of the growth, like the value. It's like a mutual fund, you know, it's like a mutual fund. And we mutually benefit by like making donations toward it and then allowing it to grow and allowing it to appreciate, and then we appreciate the growth, because appreciate also means growth. What could the feminine do here? Oh, I did the universe before the feminine. The feminine here is like, should be accepting victory. And it sits here under her 10 of air, which tells us to like not slip back. It says embrace the change and expect things to get better, because it doesn't want you to continue to expect hardship and difficulty. So not a mistake that it's sitting here atop the victory, because that's what the universe says. What can the feminine, that's what the divine masculine says. What can the feminine do? Like accept victory. You won. You got it. That's over. Now, what can we surrender as part of this to help us along? Surrender to effortlessness. Like, just accept your win. There's no need to put any more work here. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. What the masculine do here toward helping? He's got to up his self-esteem. So I talked about this in the beginning. We've already come back around to it. This is about your personal value and worth and realizing it. And I talked about this with the charisma card. Plans that need revision. More going on than meets the eye and poor timing. Well, it's about the energy of joy stealing. But your joy can be stolen because you're in a place of fear. You're in a place of fear and distrust, and it's like distrust of yourself, distrust of relationships. You have trust issues, period. And part of that is from, you know, it's insecurity, it's pride, like knowing that maybe you haven't always done the right thing. And so like, now how do I fix this? Right? How do I do this? It's a lack of confidence. It's all those things. So that's what the masculine is willing to work on here toward this. And what will help him along with that, surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. So very similar to what the feminine got. When you can't change the situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So what I say, this was the energy of joy or peace stealing. And this tells him exactly how to hold on to his peace. And the outcome. Boom! New beginnings. And the Empress, I think the new beginnings stemming from the endings that would have come with yesterday's full moon in Libra, which Venus, the Empress, rules. This card represents for me, yes, the planet and goddess Venus. She is ruler of Libra, Gemini, and Taurus. And on the same day, March 31st, that she had her full moon in Libra, or Libra full moon, she also entered Taurus, the other sign that she rules. Lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. As I was shuffling one of these decks, I did think about some like a troubled pregnancy, maybe even a miscarriage or something, because I shuffled to the 3 of air in my Lover's Path Tarot opposite the Empress, the 3 of air upright opposite the Empress in reverse. So it could also be like an issue of infertility. And if it's not actual children or like it's birth of a new thing, it's like something doesn't work out. There's, you are you're infertile in a metaphorical sense, like you're lacking what you need to get started. So that's somebody out there too. But this one is very positive. It's here upright, and it is about the new beginnings, and it sits here under renewal, and like so the relationship anew. Here it is anew, and that's that. So I'll go on to another spread. I like the way we've started. Very positive. Reconciliation on the table. New relationships too for some. Like what they're moving on is maybe singlehood toward an ace of water. Having been like being crowned by the ace of water and having the outcome be the Empress can also be babies too, pregnancy. And I've been seeing that for a few weeks as well among the divine union community, light being community. From the perspective of the universe, beginning with the ace of water. I'm sorry, the ace of coins. Ace of water, I just finished with the ace of coins. This is my Lover's Path tarot, by the way. And opening to strength, major arcana card, strength, which represents the sign of Leo. Both upright. So this can be like a solid new beginning. It's always a solid new beginning when you see the ace of coins, but opposite strength, like you're unstoppable. Opening to the star. It's called Grace in this deck. I mentioned Grace in the beginning when I was talking about charisma and Mother Teresa. Here's Grace again, but it is really the star, the traditional tarot, major arcana card number 17. It was in reverse. But the good thing about the star, it's like the star is the star. So it's still wishes granted and prayers answered. Might not be as grand, lavish, or as huge as we were expecting, or they might have otherwise come our way for what we've asked, but things still going your way. And this is still opposite an ace of coins. It's upright. So it can be a new job. It can be a promotion. Maybe it's something slightly different again than what you asked for. But it's still something really awesome. Could be a new relationship, maybe slightly different than what you would have thought, or the person is different than your usual type, but it's still something or someone awesome. Ace of coins and the 7 of cups. We might have several choices. Again, we could be single too, and like maybe we have a bunch of suitors. 7 of cups represents the sign of Pisces for me, and the planet Neptune also, which is about dreaming and things. But again, this can be 9 of water type stuff too. Dreams coming true. Here's all the dreams, here's all the goals, and then here is the outcome. The blessing. Ace of coins. Okay. Empress again. Here it's called fertility. It's with Cleopatra and Caesar, but it's the Empress upright yet again. So new beginnings, fertility, pregnancy. So if you maybe that's what the 3 of Swords upright opposite the Empress was. Maybe if you've been having trouble getting pregnant, this is a better week to try. Again, the Empress represents the planet Venus. And she is the ruler of Taurus, which she is currently in, Libra, for which we just had a full moon, and Gemini. The overall energy is the Queen of Cups in reverse. Now, Queen of Cups in reverse can be about like your emotions are overwhelming. It can be about toxic relationships, like relationships that lack the harmony that we saw laid out in the previous spread. Can also represent a person in particular that's, I don't want to say unstable, emotionally unstable. Yeah, emotionally unstable. and sort of reckless. Because the Queen of Cups can also be, of course, a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. And I just saw the Strength card in Leo. This can also be that karmic, quote unquote, karmic Cancer energy, and or Leo energy, or Leo Cancer Cuspian energy as well. That's just very negative and toxic, the overall energy. Divine couple, recent past, near future, masculine's higher self, blocks to the union, the feminine can do what the masculine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. Divine couple. Boom! The Two of Staves, or the Two of Wands upright, which is the divine union, or quote unquote twin flame card of the tarot. This is also about having put two stakes in the ground. So it's another number 2. So our second 11, or fourth 11 rather, equals 8 now, which is all about justice. 8 represents justice, maybe more Libra, abundance, infinity, karma, like destiny, and like the fact that guidance never runs out. Spiritual guidance of the universe is always available to us. The recent past, boom, Two of Cups. So maybe we met somebody, there's a new partnership, it's another 2. This equals 10, equals 1 maybe for the new beginnings, stemming from this recent past. So we began as the Two of Cups, and right now we're the Two of Wands. Very nice. So this could be new relationships. This can be coming back together. People like you recently reconnected. Even if that wasn't physically, you've reconnected, is what I'm getting. Near future, 8 of Cups. So just as the universe guided us in the other spread was from the masculine perspective, with the exception of that card that was there. Remember, I said this is what the universe would have the 2 of us do. And the advice was 8 of Cups. So in the near future, we do take that advice. And in this deck, the 8 of Cups shows 2 people together. So they moved on together, not separately. Masculine's higher self. The 9 of Cups in reverse. So this is sort of like what I was saying. It's dreams coming true, but not as grand. So maybe there's something that he's been wanting, something that he's been needing. It's finally beginning to manifest, but not necessarily in the way that he, or in the person, in the form of the person, or the way that he would have planned. But it's like a blessing nonetheless, and that's recognized and appreciated. Which is really what quote unquote twin flame unions are about. It's typically not your usual type. There are stark differences from culture, religion, age, sometimes several things, race, financial background and upbringing, and so we get somebody that's a blessing and with whom we're happy, but it's not who we would have thought. It's not the type of relationship we would have planned either, if we were doing it ourselves. Blocks to the union. Ooh. So this is the 9 of Staves in reverse, right? When 9 of Staves is upright, it's like a reminder that we can still keep going. And this 9 of Staves in reverse is like I don't have it in me. Or I'm not interested in willing or capable or of putting effort in anymore. So that's been a block. Maybe people giving up, being frustrated. What can the feminine do here? 10 of Cups in reverse. Feminine, there's some family members, or could be who you thought were close friends that are really not, from whom we need to detach, or with whom we need to heal a relationship in order to move forward, because that's what this is. 10 of Cups in reverse showing up here like this. As far as what we can do is we've got to adjust some relationships with people close to us, because it's affecting the union. And the masculine, he's got to claim victory. And in the other spread, from his perspective, that's what he wanted the feminine to do. From the universe's, that's what the universe's perspective, it's what he needs to do too. Claim victory. 6 of Staves upright. And what would the universe have both do here? Or further advice from the universe? Let go of the feelings of lack. Right, this is the 5 of Coins. All right, this is what it looks like upright. And you see, it's literally someone who is left out in the cold. Because it represents that feeling of being left out in the cold, left hanging, stranded. No one cares, right? I've been abandoned. And for me, it is about abandonment issues and trust issues and things as it relates to relationships. But when the universe is showing us the card like this, it's saying let go of these feelings of lack. Let them spill away, fall away from you. Like the fish scales that fell off of Paul's eyes when, after the road to Damascus. Right, let it all drop from you. It's just a veil. It's just a veil, a false feeling, because this is what you have. So with 2 of Staves and 2 of Cups, like how can you be lacking? So release that. And the outcome. 7 of Arrows. Very interesting. So still this feeling. Let's get a clarity card. I'll pull another card for this too. Because still this feeling of like being fearful of someone taking it from you. Now see, here's her divine masculine laying here, right? Here's her mate. She's still with him, but she's armed. She's armed and at the ready. And look, there's like a 2 of Swords here. There's 2 of these arrows or swords sitting here as if maybe there's still a decision that she has to make. She's still walking around holding on to 5. So feminine, this could be a message more so for us, like not to 5 of Swords yourself, and do something that would ruin this. And it could be connected to the 5 of Coins. It could be, maybe some of us holding on, harboring some sort of energy of drama and conflict and fear and whatever. And that's going to cause us lack. And cause the masculine maybe to have to make a decision and perhaps a different decision, maybe change his mind about us with these 2 here. The 2 of Arrows or Swords represents the need to make a decision and sort of like not doing anything about it. So it's like, this would be like moving back into stagnation. The female still holding on to drama and conflict and fear, and the masculine knowing that he needs to make a move but not doing anything. So I think that we've been given this card to, because that's the beauty of tarot, especially when it's not major arcana, when it's minor arcana, it's to give you like an advance, this is a reading of the energy. And so you can, move appropriately. But I will take the next card. Now, when I use my other cards, I look for one that's upright. But since these are, I can't tell if they're upright or in reverse. So I'm just going to take the next one as further clarity. And this is, okay, it's exactly what I was saying. This is major arcana card 0, or in this deck, it's called Innocence. This is the Fool. So this here is depicting, like, again, still holding on to old energy as opposed to taking a leap of faith. So this is what we both are going to have to do in this situation. The masculine, rather than not leaping or anything, not even considering leaping, just totally non-action, and the feminine holding on to old stagnant energy, Neither of those are going to work. So we're going to want to use this energy of the Fool. Take a leap of faith. All right, and lastly, a general spread of what's going on around us. Beginning again with an Ace of Autumn. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, and a serendipitous meeting or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion or relationship, right? An opportunity for a new relationship, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. That investment in the two of you maybe entering some sort of partnership or commitment, which the Four of Spring or Four of Wands represents. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, relationship, the completion of a project, or a very happy home life. This can also be about marriage, especially opposite the Ace of Autumn, or moving into a new home together, buying a new home together, an apartment, whatever some sort of shelter. Four of Spring, and opening to life experience, or the Tower, which can also represent a structure, a home or something. Important changes are coming into your life, and they will require you to take action. So not to be in that place of non-action, like the last card we looked at. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So it looked like maybe the feminine was being hesitant to move in new directions she knew was right for her, and she was still holding on to those 5 swords. Yeah, Four of Spring. And the Eight of Winter, because of this, maybe feeling restricted, feeling trapped, and it's fake. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you're not. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of confidence if you first affirm your freedom. Okay? You can be free and have joy. But you have to let yourself out of the cage, or you have to exit the cage. The door is open. You got to come out. Four of Spring and the 10 of Spring. You're working far too hard, and all the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and to enjoy life. In the other spread, the stress had already become too much. That's why that 9 of Wands was in reverse, saying like, I can't do this anymore. That was the block. I'm going to cut on the happy note of the Four of Spring. And it's the High Priestess again. This is time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Okay. Trust in your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. Again, the High Priestess represents the sign of Gemini, or a water sign for me, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Wow. The overall energy is yet again the 7 of Summer, or 7 of Cups. This is our 3rd time seeing this card during this this reading. It's time to stop procrastinating and to make a decision so that you can move forward with a priority. If you need to do more research, then do so, but don't overthink the situation. Listen to your heart. So this is a heart choice. Again, the 7 of Summer or Cups represents for me the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. Because Pisces and Neptune are all about, dreams and fantasy and goals also, dreams in that sense too. Also options, choices. Masculine, 5 of Spring. Occasionally, you may experience clashes with others. If you decide that the matter is worth your energy, then do what you can to minimize the conflict without sacrificing your goals or beliefs. This card also, from a more positive sense, although it doesn't look very positive at all, does represent the action of and the aggressiveness, the drive of Mars as well for me. And we do have the 2 rams here. Again, Mars, ruler of the sign of Aries. where Mercury currently is, retrograde in Aries. Given the other two spreads, this can definitely be the masculine being pushed by the divine masculine planet, Mars, toward the reconciliation, toward making a choice here. Because again, going back to that Lover's Path Tarot card, with the two swords laying next to the masculine, I think that he has a choice to make. The Seven of Summer can definitely be about procrastination and needing to pick, right? Just to mention, underneath it is another magician. It's upside down, but it's another magician. So that, remember, that was what the divine masculine's card of choosing to represent the union as a whole and the need to manifest. So that's there. Surrounding the masculine. Again! The Two of Summer, just like the first spread. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And see, it makes sense. Like with this being the positive aspect of Mars, despite the way the card looks, right? The feeling that I was getting and what the other spreads suggested thus far, it made sense. It makes sense that the Two of Cups would be showing up, sitting here underneath the Five of Spring. In the masculine subconscious. The Four of Autumn. So I talked about this card too in the beginning. Giving too much of ourselves or withholding too much. Be cautious about living a life of extremes or seeing things in black and white terms. Consider, for example, whether you are spending too much, in this case would be of yourself, maybe of your love, versus hoarding your wealth, still your love, yourself, your heart, your value. Or giving too much emotionally versus building walls that keep people out. So like blocking people from being able to access you. And in that sense, this can be about also the masculine being conflicted about how much, like trying to find the balance between how much to give or withhold. Feminine. The Moon. It's important to trust your intuition. Even if you're unsure of what's happening, all will be revealed soon. So worry is unnecessary. More Neptune, more Pisces, like our overall energy. This can also represent the other water signs, Cancer, the actual moon, Earth's moon, ruler of Cancer, and also Scorpio. Surrounding the feminine. The Six of Spring again. This is like a repeat of our first spread. The divine masculine really on par with the messages from the universe. You may receive a promotion, be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for special recognition. You've done an amazing job and deserve all the attention. So this is about those who have put in the work, being rewarded finally, winning. In the feminine subconscious, the Five of Winter. What did I say? Boom! I knew that five, well, that Seven of Swords and that first card and the way that the feminine had five of them and the masculine had two of them, I knew what that meant for us. And then here it is. And not only that, we have a five mirroring a five. Your current path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Like the masculine suggested, claim your victory, even if you don't know everything that's happening. Like have some faith and trust in the universe. Some two. All those twos that we saw in the first spread. Always maintain integrity and compassion, but be alert to the hidden agendas of others. If people are in your ear telling you to avoid, if you're in your own ear overthinking, playing these things, overanalyzing, playing it over and over and over again, talking yourself out of it, instead just pay attention to your intuition. Crowning the Union. The 8 of Autumn, it's the perfect time, and it crosses this 6 of Spring. I like that because I was just saying that this is about getting the reward, and that's what the 8 of Autumn is all about. It's about reaping what we've sown. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity, and it says career advancement. Here, I would say advancement in your work, toward your union, toward your relationships, your romantic life. And it would be the school of experience in those areas to which you're returning. At the root, the 3 of Autumn, also about having earned. So again, not a mistake that it crosses the 6 of Spring and winning and being rewarded, but it crosses the 2 of Summer for the masculine to reflect what it is he's earned. Your most satisfying and profitable relationship comes from following your passion. Listen to your heart and do what brings you joy. Your life purpose is best fulfilled by allowing your talents and your true self to shine forth out into the world. We have a nice progression here with the 3 sitting next to the 4, but at the same time, we all know what a 3 of Autumn can represent. And the Empress herself that showed up here before too is also a 3 of Autumn. So it can be representative of the parties of 3, but we see where we're trying to go. And maybe that's what the conflict is about for some. Again, for most, I just feel that this is positive. This is Mars saying, like, go get, your love. At the heart of the matter, boom, happy family, joy, right? This is, everybody wants to see the 10 of Cups at the heart of the matter and their love reading. It's time to express your love and your appreciation for family, be it relatives or chosen family. And it could be a chosen family of close friends, but again, this is the romance reading, the love reading. For singles, maybe there is a platonic friend that can become more, right? Tighter or something. Congratulations also may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. That marriage can be the sacred marriage as well. In this deck, we know we're not going to see the 2 of Cups or the 2 of Wands because I didn't reshuffle, and we saw them in the other spread. From the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine inner child. So a lot of that air and water energy that I was telling you about before with all this white, like the puffs of white smoke and all the blue surrounding her. But definitely the focus on the 3 communication centers. Those are all about air signs. The throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. Also, particularly Aquarius always comes through with this. But masculine, this is about you being able to get off your chest, your mind, whatever it is that's going to help you to achieve this here. I feel like you're finally in a place where you know who this child is, like you had sort of forgotten as a family member, and then you had to go back to them. So like 6 of Cups energy of being reintroduced to yourself prior to reintroducing yourself, because you are born again now. There's today is Resurrection Sunday, the day on which I'm doing this reading. And we just had, like I said yesterday, the full moon. So I just feel like all those old aspects are dead. And then this is a new person. And that's more aware, that's done some learning about who they are and what they want. Even if they do still fight and, those of you who haven't ultimately made a decision yet, you're still struggling. Just having learned so much about yourself over, the recent times, that you're finally like in touch with who this child is. But it's time for you to like convey that to other people. And I don't know who those other people are. Maybe it's a family member that's been a block or something. Your mother, your father, your siblings. It's time for you to convey like what it is you want. Can be the divine feminine too. Or your friends, could be friends with whom, you disagree on what you want, but you remember you're supposed to go after what brings you joy. That's how to live your best life. Feminine for us from that same oracle, miracles. It's the same thing as the prayers answered. Like believe. This is about faith again. All the twos that we saw, we are to have some faith. Again, whether we know everything that's happening or not. And take that leap forward. Be the fool. Be the fool as opposed to being a fool and ending up holding 5 swords. And not a man. Or a woman, if you're into that, you guys know what I mean. Not holding a partner. What further can the masculine surrender this week? I love this because I've been talking about this healing, and I still feel that if you didn't do it, I would have preferred by Passover, March 31st. But I still feel that as long as it is Passover season and Easter season, there's, still time to take advantage of this resurrection energy and rebirth. Surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Masculine. Feminine, what further can we surrender this week? Denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are, without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. And that includes you. That includes me, too. I mean, that includes you, feminine. That includes us. Where it says accepting people and situations exactly as they are, we're among those people that we have to accept in order to move forward. Masculine, very nice. The Knight of Water. You are so romantic this week. The Knight of Water is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and maybe even an invitation to a social event. This could be a first date, right? Whether you're reconciling or not. If you've met each other before, maybe you never had a real official date, and this will be the first one. Or it's been a while. I just felt something about first dates. And, this being really, really special. Feminine. It's so special. Maybe you're knocked off your feet. You're overwhelmed by how romantic the masculine is this week. You've never seen them like this before. Life experience, or the Tower in the traditional tarot, Major Arcana card number 16. A significant life event. A powerful revelation that leads to change. It is time to spread your wings. The Tower can also represent the sign of Scorpio for me, as can this very romantic Knight of Water. Again, Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, in addition to Aries. And the Knight of Water is indeed a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. From the... I want to make sure I pick this up in the direction it is, because this reversals count here. And I don't know why I'm doing the feminine before the masculine, but I'm going to continue. From the Lover's Path Tarot. The Princess of Coins in reverse. someone among the feminine, or some of us not feeling as worthy and or valuable as we are. So part of that comment I made about like this kind of being conflicted here in our minds, and with the surrender card and the denial, and us being among the people who we have to accept as we are, that involves seeing yourself wholly too. And when you accept as you are, doesn't mean necessarily that it's something negative. Some of us have to accept how, you know, beautiful and powerful and valuable we are, not only to those around us, our friends and family, but the world, as someone who was chosen to help to heal the earth with love. And that's what you have to accept. We have to see our own worth. It's part of the self-love. Like if you don't, how is somebody else supposed to, you know, fully appreciate it, or you fully appreciate you? Masculine. I'm going to pick up your card carefully too. And yours is upright. It is the devil with Paolo and Francesca. Major Arcana card number 15, Temptation, is the devil in this deck, the Lover's Path Tarot. And the devil, it can be the positive aspect too. Maybe in combination with this, like very heightened, like not only romantic, but sexual energy. Very aggressive sexual energy, like from Mars. But actually Mars is in Capricorn. The devil represents the sign of Capricorn. So Mars, again, co-ruler of Scorpio, is in Capricorn right now. Otherwise, the negative aspects of the devil is that restriction. And so that may be coming in combination with this, but like I said, I think you're ready. This child is ready to speak, or, you know, let something off their mind, let something off their chest. And you're not, you can, you know, the truth will set you free. And I think I mentioned that in the general reading too. That it's time for some of you to go ahead and speak up. And that's part of, I think, surrendering to complete healing for you too. Getting these things out, expressing yourself. Lastly, for you guys, from the Animal Tarot, you've got your own tower. You've got your own tower. You too will be knocked off your feet, masculine. Important changes are coming into your life, and they will require you to take action. Good thing you guys are, like, as a collective, ruled by the planet of action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So you too have to be the fool as opposed to a fool. And rather than end up holding two swords and being inactive, you know, like drop the swords or pick up one, because Mars also like the planet of war and god of war. Take up one sword and cut out any foolishness and bullshit in your life that isn't helping you. And also cut straight to the truth, like the true Ace of Swords would do, or King of Swords would do. And lastly, for us feminine, very nice, the 10 of Autumn. All's well that ends well. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. This is also about, it's about security. It's about security. It's about feeling like I have no worries, even as if it doesn't relate to actual money or material happiness, which are associated with the earth signs. But remember, the goddess and planet of love is also a queen of earth, right? As a ruler of Taurus. And so this autumn energy, earth energy, doesn't have to necessarily be about the material or financial. It can just be about love. And some of us are secure. Some of us are full off of that. And when you have that, some people do say love isn't enough. I'm not sure what kind of love that is. That's not enough. because the universe is love. Love is the only true energy that exists. So if you're really in that space, the two or more, the scriptures speak of two or more, when two or more are in agreement, but basically there's nothing that you can't manifest. And that's how love is as well. That's the kind of security that I'm feeling with this card. If we can trust the universe, have that faith, real belief, and take the leap of faith. It's kind of like how the scriptures suggest that Peter was able to walk on water, just like Jesus, and alongside Jesus with him, until he lost the faith. That was the security. That's the security. The love and faith in the universe is the security. And the love and faith in each other is the security. And if you lose that, that's when everything falls apart. But as long as you hold on to that, and it's real, there's nothing you can't manifest and make happen. I hope that you guys enjoyed the love reading and find it helpful. Again, happy Easter, happy Passover, happy April Fool's Day, and happy new week, like post the full moon and new energy period. Namaste, angels.